Nidhi, shall we start?
So we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes as people are still joining in. So we'll start in 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting in another 2-3 minutes. So as more people are joining in, so stay tuned. The session will start soon. As we are waiting for 2-3 minutes, I would just ask everyone that in case if you have any questions related to budget and all, feel free to park your questions in Q&A. So towards the end of the session, we'll definitely take that up. So you can utilize this time to park your questions till then. A very good morning, everyone, and I welcome all of you in today's session, which is on decoding the budget 2023. And as we all know that on 1st Feb, our finance minister has announced the budget. And in today's session, we'll be discussing the key takeaways for a common man and what is there for you to understand in the budget, and also what the impact will be on the investment. So we will discuss everything about the budget in today's session. So before I start with the session and the discussion, I would like to give you a brief introduction about our company, Fintu. So Fintu is basically a tax and wealth advisory firm, and we are into operations since 2015. We cater to our clients all over the world, and we provide robo-advisory as well as assisted advisory, giving 360-degree view on the personal finance. And I'm Nidhi Manchanda. I'm a certified financial planner. I'm the head of training, research, and development here at Fintu. And I'll be the host for today's session. And with this, I would like to introduce our panel of speakers for today. We have 3 speakers today for budget discussion. So our very first speaker, Mr. Manish Hingar. He's a chartered accountant and he's the founder of Fintu. He carries with him 20 plus years of vast experience in personal finance industry. He's also a business transformation leader and he has been featured in Forbes Tycoon of Tomorrow. So Manisa, welcome to today's session and we look forward to see your insights.
Good morning, Nidhi. Thanks for introducing with a great note. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Now, our second speaker, we have Ms. Nisha Harchekar, and she's the head of equity research here at Fintu. She carries with her 20 years of experience into the markets, and she has deep knowledge across sectors and is also known for her stock picking skills. So definitely, we look forward to understand how the budget has impacted the markets and the way forward. So welcome, Nisha.
Yeah, hi Nidhi, and good morning, everyone.
Yes. Now, our third speaker for today, we have Mr. Nikhil Sharma. He's a chartered accountant and he's also heading the revenue department at Fintu. He's a chief revenue officer. He is carrying the experience of 10 years experience in leadership in tax and wealth management. So he's managing the entire team. So welcome, sir. And we look forward to know taxation insights and what is there in for a common man in terms of personal taxation. I'm sure the session would be useful for everyone there.
Thank you, Nidhi, and it's completely my pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I think with this, we can now start the session. Now, just for the audience, I would like to tell that in case you have any questions, during the discussion, even now, feel free to park your questions in the Q&A. Our experts will definitely take up those questions towards the end, and all the questions will be answered in the session. So feel free to ask whatever question that is coming to your mind. We'll definitely discuss on those lines. Now, as we are starting with the discussion now, as we know that finance minister has announced a budget and major focuses were on taxpayers, new tax regime was introduced, capex. So Manish sir, first of all, would like to understand from you on a broader sense, how do you think how the budget was overall? What is your take on it?
I think the last budget of this government for this period, I think that is very up to the mark of common man. And if I am talking about on a higher side, on a macro side towards a common man, what a common man required, I think he require a good education, he require a good health, he require a good house, along with that a job, which is a quite populated thing into the market. So let's start first with the health part. I think government Nirmala Sitharaman had provided 2 or 3 very great features, and 2.1% of the GDP expenditure towards the health, that is highest among us last 7 or 8 years into that. That was quite remarkable. Along with that, they are going to open 157 nursing home by the help of state government and municipal corporation. I think that will go to the last mile, all the common men, even in a rural area or something like that. Education, again on the same part, 2.9% of GDP, quite high in terms of expenditure. And to reach it to the common man, they come up with 2 things. One is a digital library concept in every panchayat area or something. And again, the onus is not only on central government, but that time they gave some onus to central government also. So it's like a double sarkar where central government is also pushing to make it to reach it till the last mile. And the same way they are giving some powers and some of the budget to state government also to take it to the that level. So I think 2.9% national e-digital libraries, and thereafter opening some schools and physical libraries and physical schools at a panchayat level. I think that's again a good thing. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, I think they made a fantabulous job in last 4 or 5 years. Again this year, quite high in terms of budget, 79,500 crores. I think they want to reach to the last mile to give them the proper house, which a common man required to do that. And if I link the job with that, I think more budgets towards capex, more talking in terms of 30% high, 10 lakhs crore in total. So once the entire amount is spent on infrastructure, you will get more job, you will get more money into economy. That again comes and give a good booster to the economy, along with a good pocket power to the common man. I think that they give a very fantabulous job into that. And ice on the cake, which I think her common man ko bahut zarurat hai, and they happy to take it, is I think 7 lakhs limit in income tax, which Nikhil can take it better.
Right, sir. Definitely overall, if we see, there were a lot of positives in the budget here. Now, Nisha, from you would like to understand, how is the budget from equity point of view, how you see the markets?
The budget didn't actually have any unpleasant surprises, I would say, such as high fiscal slippage or any drastic tax changes on the capital gains front. So that way, the budget was very good for the equity markets. The budget has managed to create investment acceleration without damaging other expenditures. The budget is positive for industrials, banks, discretionary consumption. We have an overall constructive view on the equity markets, and we believe that the higher allocation towards capex and schemes like PM Awas Yojana, which will benefit the real estate sector and the ancillary sectors like cement and metal, while the companies in the industrial space are also the clear beneficiaries of the government capex. Also, there is a slight disappointment on the absence of very big measures on the improvement of the consumption front. However, we believe that the economic recovery will place India amongst the fastest growing economies globally. and the nominal GDP expectation is somewhere around 10.5 for FY24. So India is best placed currently in the economies all over the world.
Right, right. So thank you for giving an overall insight here. Now coming to Nikhil sir, to you, taxation front, what is your view? What were the measures which were introduced in the budget were in line with the expectations of what a common man was expecting? And also, like we have seen that most of the things that were introduced were to make the new tax regime more attractive. So what is, your view on it? And if you can explain that in detail also for the audience to understand what is there in it for them.
Yes. So first of all, good morning to everyone. And as Mr. Manish said, this budget was for common man. So I also agree with that. So I'll just add one line, what Mr. Manish quoted here, कि common man को क्या चाहिए, like education, health and job. But मेरे हिसाब से एक common man को एक tax relief भी चाहिए था, जो इस budget में कहीं ना कहीं new tax regime के through they have introduced. So I will just highlight those points in four pointers so that we can break it. Otherwise बहुत ज़्यादा data and without a screen we'll talk on the numbers, so it will not be able to link to the audience, right? So overall, the tax point of view, yes, this budget has a very good things for the common man, and I will define this common man through the slabs. So I'll keeping this common man for 6 to 9 वाला bracket, 6 लाख से 9 लाख के बीच में जो लोग income earn करते हैं. So I'll consider that person as a common man. So we'll take one example to understand what kind of benefit they are getting and as compared to the previous years. So we will be able to link it. So first of all, they in this four major changes according to me on the tax side, on the slab side or something like that. So the first changes was the new tax regime ka tax slab. So earlier it was little bit or it was not attractive as compared to the old regime. But this time they make the new regime very attractive, specifically for the common man. So they have revised the rate and slab in the new tax regime. So the point here to be noted that old regime में इस budget में उन्होंने कोई भी changes नहीं किए. Whatever changes they have proposed, that is related to new tax regime. So old tax regime जिसमें बहुत ज़्यादा complications थे, बहुत ज़्यादा deductions and you have to do a lot of exercise to save tax. So the government is in line to make it tax very simple, but I will say it will take time because old tax regime continue hai. So one person has to do one exercise ki old tax regime is beneficial or the new tax regime is beneficial. So I will highlight the proposed changes in the new tax regime because old tax regime mein there is no changes. So the new tax regime, the slab they have introduced is 0 to 3 lakhs of income. There is no taxation. जो पहले 0 to 2.5 lakhs था. So they have increased the slab for the nil tax bracket also. Then they have introduced like 3 to 6 lakh 5% taxation, 6 to 9 lakhs 10% taxation, 9 to 12 that is 15% taxation, 12 to 15 20% taxation, and 15 and above 30% taxation in new tax regime. So let's talk about 6 to 9 lakhs जो अभी 10% bracket में आ रहा है. Earlier, it was somewhere around 15% of bracket in the previous new tax regime. So we'll try to figure out कि सीधा difference क्या है, सीधा benefit क्या है. So let us take an example कि अगर 9 लाख रुपए किसी की income है, तो it will be somewhere around 75,000 per month. In this budget, in new tax regime, if you are falling under the bracket of 9 lakh और आपकी income अगर 9 लाख रुपए है, तो you have to pay tax only 45,000 in a year. That is somewhere around 3,750 per month. तो आपकी 75,000 rupees की सैलरी है तो आपको सिर्फ 3,750 रुपए का टैक्स देना है. If I compare it with previous new tax regime का taxation, तो ये जो 45,000 का फिगर है ये 60,000 था. So there is a straightforward benefit of 15,000 to this common man in this budget, जो कहीं ना कहीं उनकी 15,000 in a year tax saving कर रहा है. Without any investment related to things for taxation or something like that. So that is the good move, I guess. इसमें काफी ज़्यादा benefit है. And if I'll compare it with old tax regime, तो old tax regime में अगर मुझे same 75,000 की income पे 3,500 7,550 का अगर taxation लेना है, या फिर मैं ईयरली बेसिस पे बात करूँ तो 45,000 के टैक्सेशन तक अगर आना है, तो आई हैव टू इन्वेस्ट और आई हैव टू स्पेंड 2,37,000 एज ए डिडक्शन. सो वो कहीं ना कहीं, इफ आई कंपेयर ओल्ड टैक्स रिजीम और जो प्रपोज न्यू टैक्स रिजीम है, तो कहीं ना कहीं गवर्नमेंट ने ये काफी अच्छा इनिशिएटिव लिया है कि यू नीड नॉट टू स्पेंड थिंग्स और यू नीड नॉट टू इन्वेस्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू टैक्सेशन. Your investment thing should be separate as per your need or finance, as per your finance or as per your goal kind of a thing. So it should not mix with the tax kind of a thing. Because taxation point of view से जितने भी deduction allowed थे, they were somewhere around locked in, or they were somewhere around lesser, the IRR point of view. So that is something, separately divided in this budget. So without any doing, 2,37,000 का investment or finding some deduction, स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड इन न्यू टैक्स रिजीम आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. 9 लाख रुपए की इनकम पे आपको सिर्फ 45,000 का टैक्स देना पड़ेगा. सो आई थिंक दिस इज अ गुड मूव टू मेक इट वेरी सिंपल. Second changes is, as Manish mentioned, like 7 lakhs पे कोई टैक्स नहीं है. That is, I think, the key highlight of every newspaper, and every common man can correlate very simply कि 7 लाख रुपया अगर मैं साल का कमा रहा हूँ तो there is no taxation. So yes, ये इस चीज को थोड़ा सा डिकोड करते हैं. टैक्स स्लैब जो है वो 7 lakhs तक नील नहीं है. देयर इज वन रिबेट विच इनकम टैक्स इज प्रोवाइडिंग. थ्रू दैट योर टैक्स विल बी नील. अगर आप 7 लाख रुपए से ऊपर जा रहे हैं तो आपका टैक्सेशन विल बी द सेम, जो मैंने अभी आपको समझाया, 0 to 3 lakhs एंड 3 to 6 lakh एज पर द स्लैब मैनर. बट ये जो 7 lakhs पे उन्होंने रिबेट की इंक्रीज लिमिट जो इंक्रीज की है, दैट वाज अर्लियर 5 lakh in new tax regime and the old tax regime. But in this budget, they have raised this limit from 5 lakhs of income to 7 lakh of income. It means if anybody is earning 7 lakh rupees of income in a year, they need not to pay any taxes. So there is a zero tax. So that is, I think, the government sixer, according to me, where a person is saving 32,500 का tax. जो 9 लाख रुपए की इनकम पे 20,000 रुपए में टैक्स सेव कर रहा था, अगर मेरी इनकम 7 लाख रुपए ही है तो आई एम सेविंग 32,500 इन हैंड. सो आई थिंक दैट इज द बिगेस्ट मूव. एंड इसमें मुझे कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट करने की जरूरत नहीं है रिलेटेड टू टैक्सेशन, कि मैं 5 साल की एफडी बनाऊं, मैं कोई इंश्योरेंस बाय करूं, मैं कोई ऐसा एक्सपेंडिचर फाइंड आउट करूं जिसके थ्रू मुझे टैक्स सेव हो सके, एएलएसएस में डालूं. देयर इज नो नीड टू प्रिपेयर योर टैक्सेशन विद इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो वो मिक्सिंग कहीं ना कहीं दूर हुई है विद दिस सेकंड काइंड ऑफ इनिशिएटिव. एंड द थर्ड थिंग इज स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन. That is again a big move to make it new tax regime very attractive. Earlier, ये standard deduction was allowed to only the old tax regime, जहाँ पे आप deductions claim करते हैं, ATC plan करते हैं, ATD plan करते हैं. But in this budget, they have extended this standard deduction benefit to the new tax regime also. It means if I'll club this 7 lakhs का rebate, 7 lakh of income का rebate and 50,000 का standard deduction, then if my salary is 7,50,000, because this rebate is allowed only to the salaried and the pensioners. तो ये उनके लिए एक अच्छी खबर है कि मेरी 7.5 लाख रुपए की सैलरी तक अगर मैं अर्न कर रहा हूँ तो मेरे लिए कोई टैक्स नहीं है, क्योंकि 50,000 का मुझे स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन मिला न्यू टैक्स रिजीम में, एंड 7 लाख रुपीज तक रिबेट मुझे मिल रहा है. सो अप टू 7,50,000, आई थिंक दैट इज द हाईएस्ट टैक्स फाइलर एंड द ट्रू कॉमन मैन in defined language. So there is no taxation of 7,50,000. The last and final thing from my side for this tax changes, that is surcharge. So there is some good news for the ultra HNI also, because government has like FM really announced that India is the MMR is the highest in amongst the world, like any country. So we were taxed to ultra HNI 42.7% tax rate. So आप ये समझ रहे होंगे 30% का 42.7% कैसे बना. So government is charging tax, but government is charging surcharge and higher education cess to the ultra HNI also. So that surcharge was 37% on taxation for ultra HNI, those who are earning income of 5 crore rupees. But in this budget, government has reduced that 37% to 25% only to the new tax regime. So अगर मैं ultra HNI के लिए बात करूं, एक एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे, अगर कोई 10 करोड़ रुपया कमा रहा है तो उसको सीधा सीधा जो बेनिफिट हो रहा है वो कहीं ना कहीं 10 लाख रुपए का हो रहा है, बिकॉज 42.7% का जो टैक्स रेट है वो रिड्यूस होकर 39% का हो गया. तो 3.7% का टैक्स रिबेट ऑन 10 करोड़ इनकम दे आर गेटिंग इन हैंड एज अ डिस्पोजेबल इनकम. तो 10 लाख रुपीज वो वहां पे सेव कर पा रहे इन न्यू टैक्स रिजीम. So I think it was a good budget for common man for sure. But for ultra HNI, those who are earning more than 5 CR, उनके लिए भी एक अच्छी खबर है जो कहीं ना कहीं उनको डिसअपॉइंट कर रहा था हर बजट में, because government is charging a lot of tax to them in every aspect. But this time they can take a good breath, and so it's a good point from my side.
Right. I think yes, you have explained in detail what are the major changes that has happened, and for the audience to understand the impact, like on what kind of people this will be benefiting more. So I guess from your insights and the pointers that you have put forward, it's like anybody whose income is up to 7 or 7.5 lakhs, if in salary it's 7.5 or otherwise 7. There's a great benefit because they will not have to pay any tax. And similarly, anybody whose income is more than 2 crores, because of the surcharge benefit, they will also greatly benefit from the budget, because they will also get that benefit. But in between, the benefit is somewhere the new tax regime, the rate benefit which is there, which they will get it. I guess that's what
that is more than 5 CR. Huh? More
right.
than 2 CR, it is the same surcharge. So if the income is more than 5 CR, then it was 37% surcharge, but now it is 25%. So the person who is earning more than 5 CR, they are getting benefited.
More than 2 crores, it's 25% now, right?
Yes.
Right. So that is the benefit for ultra HNIs and also the common man. So great benefit here. And I guess the major thing that is clarified here in this discussion is also that it's just the rebate of 7 lakhs up to income of 7 lakh. It's not the basic exemption limit which is increased, because even I have seen that people have that query that if someone's income is around 10 lakhs, then up to 7 lakhs it is exempt and they have to pay tax on 3 lakhs, which is incorrect interpretation of what the budget was. So thank you so much for clarifying that. I think people will now understand this. And in case if anybody has any other query on similar thing, do let us know in the Q&A box. We'll definitely take that up from there. Now, Manisha, from you, question. If you talk about overall again, if we in the budget we have seen that the finance minister was talking about fiscal deficit numbers and what is the future projection on that. So, what do you think, is the government on path towards fiscal consolidation?
The fiscal consolidation now should not be seen on only from one lens. I think fiscal consolidation kya hai overall in the budget for a common man. If I'll give you understanding on that matter, I think that will be a good thing to do. आपको बहुत ज़्यादा कैपेक्स पे एक्सपेंसेस करना है, आपको इंफ्रा इंडिया में बहुत अच्छा करना है, आपने 10 लाख करोड़ का उसके लिए बजट प्रोविजन कर दिया है, लास्ट ईयर से 33% आपने बढ़ा दिया है बजट को. सो वो सीधा दिखता है कि गवर्नमेंट का जो फोकस है वो मेक इन इंडिया बनाने पे है. एंड इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट मेक इन इंडिया, यू आर क्रिएटिंग ए मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब इन द एंटायर ग्लोब. यू आर क्रिएटिंग China plus one philosophy. So at present, definitely entire world is not afford to क्या बोल सकते हैं ना, remove China from their basket or from their cart list to buy something into that. But yes, China plus one strategy where India is a very sweet spot. So first we need to understand what is the challenges in India. So if I see on the challenges side, I think the infrastructure which we always talk about, I think that's जहाँ पे आपको बहुत ज्यादा पैसा खर्च करना है और साइमल्टेनियसली आपको इन्फ्लेशन भी कंट्रोल में रखना है और उनके साथ में फिस्कल प्रूडेंस, फिस्कल डेफिसिट को अगर कंट्रोल रखना है, आई थिंक बहुत चैलेंजिंग है. तीनों पिलर को आपको मैनेज करना है, तो आई थिंक गवर्नमेंट ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया. 25-26 what they are targeting about 4.5% of fiscal prudence. 23 they ended up with 6.9%. FY24 they have a target for 5.9%. I think we are very much on the path of fiscal prudence. और आई थिंक ये गवर्नमेंट को सबसे बड़ा इसमें सपोर्ट कहीं से मिला है ना, और इतना कॉन्फिडेंस अगर कहीं से मिला है टू एक्सपेंड सो मच इनटू इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, आई थिंक वो जीएसटी कलेक्शन से मिला, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स कलेक्शन. जो चीज इनके लिए पहले इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स कलेक्शन बहुत छोटा होता था, अभी 1.5 लाख रुपीस, 1.5 लाख करोड़ एवरी मंथ. इफ यू आर गेटिंग दैट टाइप ऑफ जीएसटी और इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स कलेक्शन फ्रॉम द इंडिया, आई थिंक दैट्स अ बिग नंबर. गवर्नमेंट को कहीं ना कहीं बेनिफिट हो रहा है फॉर्मलाइजेशन ऑफ इकोनॉमी से, जहाँ पे उन्होंने बहुत सारे जनधन अकाउंट ओपन करवाए. मैं लास्ट अगर जनधन अकाउंट की बात करूं तो कुछ 47.8 करोड़ जनधन अकाउंट इंडिया में. तो वो कहीं ना कहीं सारी चीजें जो इनकी पूरी इकोसिस्टम बना है, फॉर्मलाइजेशन ऑफ इकोनॉमी देन फाइनेंशियलाइजेशन ऑफ इकोनॉमी, उससे जो नंबर्स जीएसटी कलेक्शन के आ रहे हैं वो सामने दिख रहे हैं. और वो जब नंबर इतने अच्छे एविडेंट बोलते हैं ना, तो आई थिंक गवर्नमेंट को एक अच्छा कॉन्फिडेंस मिलता है टू गो अप. तो वो अपनी बाहर रेस कर रहा है. दो डेफिनेटली बोरोइंग्स हमारी जो है वो भी अभी थोड़ी सी हायर साइड पे है, 11.8 ट्रिलियन का नंबर है उसके अंदर. बट आई थिंक फिर भी उन चीजों को मैनेज करके अगर आप फिस्कल प्रूडेंस मैनेज कर पा रहे हो, और आप इतने बड़े बड़े एक्सपेंसेस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे कर पा रहे हो, इट्स अ बिग थिंग टू टेक केयर. और वो हमको दिख भी रहा है. अगर हम एक एज अ कॉमन मैन भी देखें तो इन टर्म्स ऑफ रोड्स इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इन टर्म्स ऑफ वेयर हाउसिंग, वंदे भारत हाईएस्ट रेलवे को इससे पहले कभी इतना बड़ा अलोकेशन नहीं मिला जितना अलोकेशन पहली बार मिल रहा है. हमने कभी इंडिया ने नहीं सोचा कि कोचेस, रेलवे कोचेस, वी विल एक्सपोर्ट इट टू आउटसाइड रादर देन टेकिंग इंपोर्ट फॉर समथिंग. आई थिंक ये जगह पे बहुत अच्छा काम हुआ है. और गवर्नमेंट को कॉन्फिडेंस जहां से आ रहा है, वो जीएसटी कलेक्शंस, फॉर्मलाइजेशन ऑफ इकोनॉमी, ये सब हुआ है, उससे एक अच्छा बूस्ट मिल रहा है टू टेक मोर रिस्क टुवर्ड्स दैट. सो इट्स गुड. फिस्कल प्रूडेंस तो ठीक है, नंबर है, बट यस डेफिनेटली ऑन अ बिगर साइड, ऑन अ ग्लोबल लेवल, यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ दिस पार्ट. इन्फ्लेशन को आपको कंट्रोल करना है, फिस्कल डेफिसिट को कंट्रोल करना है. उसके बाद भी आप इतने बड़े और इतने बोल्ड स्टेप ले रहे हो, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. जब एंटायर ग्लोब रेसेशन की बातें कर रहा है, आप सेंस ले रहे हो, आप अभी भी एक बुलिश होके जा रहे हो. आई थिंक kudos to the government and all the, not only in terms of central government or something, state government को बहुत सारी पावर दी है. लास्ट ईयर गवर्नमेंट ने देखा कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को जितना बजट दिया इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और लोकेशन, तो उन्होंने उतना खर्चा नहीं किया. सो दैट टाइम एंड यूपी वाज द हाईएस्ट टू बी सरप्राइज इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एक्सपेंडिचर. सबसे ज्यादा कैपेक्स एक्सपेंसेस लास्ट ईयर किसी स्टेट में हुआ है तो यूपी में हुआ है. सो कहीं ना कहीं समझ आता है इस बार ऑफिस गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया, 24-25 के लिए व्हाटएवर लोन यू विल टेक फॉर द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, for making the e-digital library, to creating the schools, to creating the nursing home, for PM आवास योजना, जितने भी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम है, अगर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करती है और उसके लिए खर्चा करती है, गवर्नमेंट इज गिविंग 50 years इंटरेस्ट फ्री लोन. ये इंटेंशन समझ आता है कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट चाह रही है कि ये सिर्फ हम नहीं कर सकते. If I need to develop the infrastructure on a bigger level or on a fast level, we need support from state government, from municipality corporations in a district level or a city level. I think ये एग्जीक्यूशन अगर बहुत अच्छे से नेक्स्ट 1 or 2 years में होता है, we will see a different India, and definitely that is a very good opportunity as of now to create a China plus.
Right. So definitely there's a positive outlook here, and thank you for sharing your views on that. Now coming to the markets again, Nisha, as you've mentioned about how the effect was there on the market, but if we break it down and to understand its impact on different sectors, some of the hits and misses that you have seen, or what you foresee for future as well. So if you can break it down, and let's start with maybe auto sector and banking. So what are your views on that?
See, overall, on a sectoral perspective, I would say that construction, building materials, hospitality are the key beneficiaries. Even the durable segment is positively impacted by the budget. The second consecutive sharp increase in the budgetary outlay on infra and the continued focus on affordable housing is definitely positive for the infrastructure sector, construction and building material companies. So the budget is also focusing on tourism, which is a huge positive for hospitality. Coming to the auto sector, the sharp fund allocation under the green hydrogen mission, the viability gap funding for energy storage, the old vehicle scrapping by the governments, state governments and central governments, old vehicle scrapping are also the key positive for the auto sector. Also, there is a greater funding to adopt hybrid and EV vehicles and increased funding under the PLI scheme. These are all the significant steps which will benefit the auto sector. Coming to the financials, it's a mixed budget for the financial sector. The large capital outlay and focus on housing under the PM Awas Yojana and relief and continued guarantee loans for the MSME is definitely positive for the banks and housing finance companies. However, there are some measures relating to the high value real estate and taxation of returns from life insurance and taxation of MLDs. These are certainly negative for certain NBFCs and life insurance.
Right. So thanks for sharing the sector overview here. But again, like you have mentioned about insurance sector. So Nikhil sir, I would like to know your viewpoint, and if you can explain to our audience, once the budget was out, I think everywhere it was that insurance maturity proceeds will now be taxable, and what is it happening, and what is the limit, and how it will impact the insurance sector, mutual fund industry as well. Please share your views.
Yeah, Nidhi, for sure. So, Nidhi, like you correctly mentioned about the insurance, a lot of noise is there.
Yes.
And I think we need to, talk a little bit more time on this thing. So first of all, I would like to tell that this is not the first time that government is targeting on the exemptions. If you'll see the budget starting from 2014 of this government, which is, always focusing on where they can reduce or they can, remove the exemptions from the income tax. So they have started from the housing loan benefit restricted to 2 lakh rupees. Then, the last budget, they have restricted VPF, the tax exemptions. Then also, we have seen like a lot of things where we are getting like old regime and new regime, where they are de-promoting, the deduction or exemptions related to taxation. So on the same note, like they have identified this time for the insurance sector, which was a sweet spot for the taxation kind of view. So to understand the impact on the insurance, first we need to understand one concept under income tax. So insurance earlier it was triple E. So what is triple E status? So triple E status is first E stand for exemptions when you are investing something from your pocket. So your investment itself allow you some sort of deductions. So that is first exempt E. Then second E, where on the accumulation phase, whatever interest you are accumulating on your investment, that is also exempt. In simple word, it is interest that is exempt. So second E stand exempt for the accumulation phase or interest kind of a thing. Third E, that is exempt for the maturity period. Whatever you are getting maturity at the end of the period of that investment, that is also exempt. So a very earlier it was a few of the investments were there which is falling under this triple E status. So insurance was also one of the triple E status where you are investing something, you will get deduction under section 80C. Whatever accumulation is there, that is also exempt. Whatever maturity you are getting, that is also exempt. So this time they identified this insurance sector, and they trying to remove such sort of exemptions from there. So let us understand the impact, like what kind of changes they have proposed. So first changes they have proposed is that there is a limit of 5 lakh rupees of insurance premium in a financial year, and that policy if issuing after 1st April 2013. So we need to keep stand with these 2 points, because that is the two things where we need to find out the things. What is the impact of this section or this changes? So the first thing is 5 lakh rupees. So 5 lakh rupees of premium in a financial year, if you are investing in any insurance product except ULIP, you have an impact on the triple E status. Okay. And second thing, if this policy is issued after 1st April 2023, then only you are getting affected with this triple E status. So the point here is that it means any policy, if you are holding earlier March 2023, there is no impact. It means अगर आपने 2019 में कोई प्लान लिया है, 2021 में कोई प्लान लिया है, इनफैक्ट अगर आपने 31 मार्च 2023 को भी इन्वेस्ट किया है इंश्योरेंस के अंदर, राइट, एंड वो पॉलिसी इशू हो चुकी है 31 मार्च तक, there is no impact of this provision irrespective of amount. Correct. The second thing is 5 lakh rupees of premium. For example, if you take a policy after 1st April 2023 and उसका एक साल में premium amount is lesser than 5 lakh rupees, चाहे आपने 2 पॉलिसी ली है, 3 पॉलिसी ली है, 4 पॉलिसी ली है, if the aggregate is less than 5 lakh rupees, then also there is no impact of this amendment to you. So it is very simple. It is going to impact on the higher ticket size. And if you are taking that such kind of a plan after 1st April 2023, then you have an impact. So that impact is the taxation. So now we need to understand what is the impact, like what is the outgo of the taxation, pre-March and post-March, and if the premium amount is more than 5 lakh rupees. So they have mentioned that they will prescribe the manner, but they have defined that taxation will be there, and they have defined 2 or 3 things, but the manner they have to define, they have to prescribe. So let us highlight those points. So they are saying that if you are taking any exemptions under section 80C of such premiums post March 2023, that is next financial year, then whatever maturity will be there in coming years, it will be taxable as it is. If you have taken the exemption under section 80C, it means if you are in 23-24 financial year, if you are taking old tax regime where you are allowed to take benefit of deduction under Section 80C, and you are taking benefit of such premium which is more than 5 lakh under Section 80C, तो समझ लो आपको सबसे ज्यादा नुकसान होने वाला है, because whatever receipts, maturities you are getting from such kind of a plan, it will be completely taxable. आपको आपके इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम पेड का कोई भी बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा एज ए प्रिंसिपल. The second scenario where you are not taking any advantage under Section 80C of such premiums, then whatever premium you are paying, it will be subtract from the maturity amount. It means आपको सिर्फ प्रॉफिट पे टैक्स देना है. So just to summarize that thing and just to conclude from here, ये provision आया 5 लाख रुपीस से ऊपर के इनकम पे, right? So in my view, nobody is taking benefit under Section 80C because 80C is just allowed to 1,50,000. तो अगर 5 लाख रुपए इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम में डाल रहा है तो वो 80C के लिए नहीं डाल रहा है. There is some need or there is some वो इस इंस्ट्रूमेंट को कहीं ना कहीं इन्वेस्टमेंट के तौर पे देख रहा है, वो कहीं ना कहीं बिकॉज मार्केट में बहुत सारे गारंटीड इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जो कहीं ना कहीं एक अच्छी IRR अट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं, एंड जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ ट्रिपल ई स्टेटस जिन पे टैक्स नहीं आता है उनके लिए पोस्ट टैक्स रिटर्न दूसरे डेट मार्केट से कंपेयर करें तो इट इज वेरी सिमिलर और इट इज वेरी अट्रैक्टिव. So they are using this instrument in such a way where you are not taking advantage under Section 80C. So उस केस में मुझे लगता है कि फर्स्ट जो टैक्सेशन जो हमने समझा है अभी कि प्रीमियम का कोई बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा, that will not be the case. The next example which we have understand where the premium paid benefit will be allowed as a principal, that will be the scenario according to me. But किसी को ये गलती नहीं करनी है कि आपने अगर 80C में 5 लाख रुपए से ऊपर की प्रीमियम पे किया और आपने 80C में गलती से उसका बेनिफिट ले लिया अंडर ओल्ड टैक्स regime, then entire maturity will be taxable. So that
Then, sir, do you suggest then one should not be taking that benefit of 80C?
So in my opinion, अगर कोई 5 लाख रुपए से ऊपर का प्रीमियम ऐसे प्लान के अंदर इन्वेस्ट करता है तो उसका 80C कहीं और से भी प्लान हो सकता है, उसको इस इंस्ट्रूमेंट से 80C प्लान नहीं करना चाहिए. अगर वो 80C प्लान करेंगे because 80C is restricted to 1,50,000.
Right.
Unnecessary if I have claimed this 5 lakh rupees, more than 5 lakh rupees of premium under Section 80C, that benefit is restricted to 1,50,000. But इसका लॉस मुझे क्या होगा, मेरा पूरा प्रीमियम जो मैंने पे किया है वो एज ए प्रिंसिपल मुझे बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा एंड एंटायर मैच्योरिटी विल बी टैक्सेबल. सो जस्ट टू नटशेल, 5 लाख रुपए से नीचे वालों के लिए कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं है. आप इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर में इन्वेस्ट करो, अगले फाइनेंशियल ईयर में इम्पैक्ट करो, देयर इज नो इम्पैक्ट. पुरानी पॉलिसीज अगर किसी ने ले रखी है, आने वाले सालों में अगर वो प्रीमियम पे करेंगे, देयर इज नो इम्पैक्ट एज सच. अगर आपके पास में टर्म प्लान अगर आप लेते हैं तो टर्म प्लान पे भी इसका कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं है बिकॉज टर्म प्लान पे यूजुअली आपको ऑन डेथ यू आर गेटिंग सच रिसीट्स. सो ऑन डेथ उन्होंने कोई चेंजेस इसके अंदर प्रपोज नहीं किया है. ऑन डेथ वॉट एवर अमाउंट यू आर गेटिंग इट इज स्टिल टैक्स फ्री. सो दैट इज द प्रोविजन, दैट इज द आउटकम ऑफ दिस प्रोविजन एंड इट इज अ बिग इम्पैक्ट. क्वेश्चन ये अराइज हो रहा है, क्वेश्चन ये नहीं है कि उन्होंने एग्जम्पशंस क्यों हटाया, क्वेश्चन ये है कि क्या ये राइट टाइम था बिकॉज इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर में पेनिट्रेशन इज नॉट दैट मच. So is this the right time to remove that kind of exemptions? That is a question, because I also believe that as soon as we are moving towards the growing or developed economy, so I think that kind of exemption will be removed in near future, but I think it was too early steps by the government. It should not be taken in a such hurry kind of a thing.
Right. Thank you, sir. And that's a great piece of advice that even if you are paying a premium of 5 lakhs or more, then I think the advisory here is that you should not be taking advantage of 80C, so that you'll be benefiting it. So thank you so much for sharing that with everyone.
And you have a time for 2 months if you are planning to buy something like that. So you have 2 months to take the advantage of the old benefit.
Yes, before 31st March, you can then invest into insurance.
Yes.
Right. So thank you so much for sharing that insight. Now, as we are talking about investments, insurance, I think we should understand what will be the investment strategy. So for this, Manisha would like to understand from you, like in this budget, when we talk about investment, there were few announcements made on senior citizen scheme where the limits has increased, and MIS and some schemes for women as well. And overall as well, if you talk about investment, post this budget, what would be your advice to the investors on how they should be making their investments this year?
यदि मेरी एडवाइस है ना, आई थिंक some 100 or 105 participants are there. My first sincere advice to all the Indians, निर्मला सीतारमन मैम है ना 690 मिनट्स टू आई थिंक कितना 120 मिनट्स तक लेती है टू कंप्लीट हर स्पीच, और स्पीच में सिर्फ लास्ट के 2 मिनट्स बहुत ज्यादा क्लाइमैक्स रहता है पिक्चर। दैट इज अबाउट द टैक्सेशन पीस। आई थिंक वी शुड लिसन द बजट एंटायरली, not with the focus of ki what is for me in terms of taxation. I think when we are talking about the budget piece, I think that's a big piece to take care of this part. गवर्नमेंट ने लाइक निखिल ने बहुत अच्छे से एलोबरेट किया है उसको कि वन इज ओल्ड रिजीम, वन इज न्यू रिजीम। आई एम जस्ट रीडिंग वन और आई वाज जस्ट रीडिंग वन और टू क्वेश्चंस। एक क्वेश्चन उसमें ये भी था कि why government is doing so much or discouragement of savings for investment and something. I think हमको थोड़ा सा स्मार्टली समझना चाहिए कि गवर्नमेंट doesn't want you to restrict up to 1,50,000 और आप आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट इसलिए करो क्योंकि आपको टैक्स सेव करना। आई थिंक हमको उस नरेटिव से बाहर आना पड़ेगा। हमको इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है फॉर आवर गोल्स। दैट्स व्हाई हम फिंटू में वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट व्हाट इज द राइट वे टू इन्वेस्ट एंड व्हाट इज द राइट वे टू मैनेज एंड नर्चर योर मनी। इंडिया में बहुत बड़ा गैप है। वी आर हाईएस्ट इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेविंग। हम ग्लोबल जो एवरेज सेविंग है उसको बीट करके 29% सेविंग है। इट मींस आउट ऑफ 100 रुपीज 29 रुपीज हम सेव करते हैं। हमको ये सोचना पड़ेगा व्हाई वी आर सेकंड लास्ट इन टर्म्स ऑफ रिटायरमेंट। हम एक बहुत बड़ा डिसबैलेंस है, हमारी सेविंग बहुत अच्छी है। तो आई थिंक टू प्लान, आपको अगर आपके गोल्स या रिटायरमेंट करना है ना, तो इट शुड नॉट बी विद द लेंस ऑफ टैक्सेशन जो गवर्नमेंट कहना चाह रही है। आप न्यू रिजीम में आओ, आप कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट सिर्फ टैक्स के लिए मत करो। वेरेवर यू वांट टू डू इन्वेस्टमेंट यू डू इट। हमारे पास 10 करोड़ डीमैट अकाउंट, अगर मैं 10 करोड़ डीमैट अकाउंट की बात कर रहा हूं तो मींस पीपल और यंग brigade specifically, they don't want to bound themselves for 3 years or 5 years. Why should I invest only for years or merely just for 1,50,000? I can invest into equity market. Now people are more matured in terms of, so मेरे हिसाब से इसलिए गवर्नमेंट का ऐसा है कि बजट को सिर्फ टैक्सेशन पीस से नहीं देखना चाहिए। Having said that about investment, definitely Nisha is the best person to talk on that. But from my side, I think government इतना ज़्यादा इंफ्रा पे खर्च कर रही, तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर will be a very good prominent into that. Top 5 stocks निकालिए आप इंफ्रा के, you will get where to invest for a longer term. Other than infra, ancillary, like Nisha said about cement, iron ore and all these things, these are good to invest. मेरे को लगता है ये पूरे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और पूरे इकोसिस्टम को कोई अगर पीछे से सपोर्ट करेगा, that is financial industries, specifically banks. I think उन पे हमको ध्यान रखना चाहिए. So we are very much bullish about banks also for financial market stocks, जो आने वाले टाइम में एक बहुत अच्छी रैली देंगे, क्योंकि अगर कोई भी इस तरह की होंगी इन्वेस्टमेंट, कहीं भी कैपेक्स में होगा, कुछ भी होगा, आई थिंक दैट इज बैक्ड बाय सम ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल्स और बैंक सपोर्ट एक बहुत ज्यादा लगेगा उसमें। सो ये स्टॉक्स मेरे को थोड़े से पॉपुलर लगते हैं और थोड़े से अच्छे लगते हैं टू हाईलाइट। बट whatever had happened in last 7 days or after budget, we all know about that. We should not be go as a blind trust, है ना। आई थिंक मार्केटिंग ने एक बहुत अच्छी चीज सिखाई है कि योर ट्रस्ट शुड बी स्मार्ट। सो यू शुड डू स्मार्ट ट्रस्ट, डोंट बिलीव ओनली ऑन न्यूज़, मेक योर ओन स्टडी, मेक योर ओन रिसर्च, consult a good financial planner. Please consult a good financial planner who can tell you about your journey, who can tell you. Don't go here and there by myth. The more social media, the more fake news, the more bigger the market, the more confuse creates, और वो आपकी कहने की इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी को खराब कर देगा। सो मेरे को लग रहा है इन्वेस्टमेंट कीजिए, स्मार्ट ट्रस्ट रखिए। इक्विटी मार्केट इज वेरी गुड टू इन्वेस्ट, डेट मार्केट इज वेरी गुड टू इन्वेस्ट। Nikhil correctly mentioned, if you want to do a bigger investment into any of these fixed guaranteed instrument, I think the best time to make it before 31st March, so that you will not be coming to the tax bracket or something. There are lots of avenues, guys. Not only हमने digital gold की बात नहीं करी, physical gold से अगर digital gold पे आप convert करते हो, government is not taking any taxes on that. I think ये सब चीजें government आपको digital push कर रही है, digital locker government बात कर रही है। पैन कार्ड अभी आप on a single pan you can able to submit this as a proof of identity in more than 29 government entities. That's also a good move to take it. एंड वन थिंग मैं आपको एक और चीज बताना चाह रहा हूँ जो एक अगले 3-4 महीने में आपको सामने दिखेगा। गवर्नमेंट एक फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन रिपोजिटरी क्रिएट करे जहां पे व्हाटएवर फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन यू हैव, दैट ऑल विल बी अवेलेबल एट वन प्लेस टू यू। दैट इज आई थिंक अ वेरी गुड मूव फ्रॉम अ गवर्नमेंट साइड। आपको आपके ईपीएफ की डिटेल देखनी है, आपको आपके पोस्ट ऑफिस की डिटेल देखनी है, आपको आपके म्यूचुअल फंड्स की डिटेल देखनी है, इक्विटी की डिटेल देखनी है, इंश्योरेंस की डिटेल देखनी है, यू विल गेट ऑल डिटेल्स एट वन प्लेस। सो गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रही है, गवर्नमेंट एक बहुत बड़ा एक डिजिटल इकोसिस्टम क्रिएट कर रही है to make your investment good, और आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी अच्छी होनी चाहिए। और it is not only about the saving, it's about how you nurture your money also. So equity market is good. Be cautious for the market, be cautious about the news and everything. Apply your own mind and don't blind trust anyone, be it anyone into this, because it's your money, you sweat, you earn. But smart trust रखिए। I think that's the only thing I can able to tell. और
Thank you
निर्मला
so much.
सीतारामन को पूरा 2 घंटा सुनी. That is important. बंदी खड़ी होके बोलती है बहुत चीजें.
Yes, yes, yes. So that is, that is something which is very insightful for everyone to know. And also, like you mentioned about markets a bit, so I would like to continue that discussion with Nisha as well. So if Nisha, if you can share, what is your outlook for equity markets going ahead?
So, budget was the most important event that market was waiting for in the last 1 month or so. So, with the union budget out of the theme of the market, now market will focus back to the two very key important factors, which is the earnings and the interest rate outlook globally. We think that both these factors are neutral to mildly negative for India from a near-term perspective, and thus the markets will continue to consolidate till we get a visibility on the earnings upgrade front, or we see a substantial decline in the interest rates both globally and in India to change the PE multiples that we are having right now. So India currently is trading at a premium to the emerging markets, and thankfully that is correcting a bit with the consolidation that we are seeing in the last 1 year or so. So the Indian equity markets are currently trading at 16.2 times PE of FY24 earnings, which is around 1,094 rupees. So, and the earnings are growing at a CAGR of 13 to 14% over FY23 to FY25. So, the valuations are currently in a fair zone. The peak PE that Nifty has seen was around 23 times, and now the PE is around 16 times, which is near the long-term average of 17 times. So India valuation are currently fair, and coming to the levels, the Nifty is back in the range of 17,800 to 18,200. So that is the broad range that India was, the Nifty was moving in the last 1 or 2 months. So it broke below that range and fell to 17,400, and now back it is in that 400 points band. So unless that band is broken, the consolidation will continue. So that's the current view on markets. But that said, stock picking should continue. Good stocks have not fallen at all. In fact, they are making new 52-week highs. So bottom-up stock picking along with focus on key sectors like banking, infra, those sectors stock picking should continue.
Okay. Thank you for your insights on this, and I'm sure people who are investing into stock markets or are looking forward to invest into the markets this year would know, what levels to look at, and also, as you mentioned about, banking sector is where they can actually have some exposure or infra. So thank you so much for sharing that insight. And one last question from Nikhil sir now. Again, I think many people were asking about MLD taxation. So, sir, from you, would like to understand, or maybe for the audience, you can also explain what MLD is first, and then explain the changes that were announced in the budget.
निधि, आई मस्ट से कि गवर्नमेंट की जितनी भी स्कीम्स है लाइक एमएलडीज पे उन्होंने टैक्सेशन चेंज किया, इंश्योरेंस, आई थिंक ऑडियंस नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंटेंट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट.
राइट.
लाइक मनीष सर साइड की इन्वेस्टमेंट को टैक्स से लिंक नहीं करना है. इन्वेस्टमेंट शुड बी रिलेटेड टू गोल बेस्ड प्लानिंग और योर नीड बेस्ड प्लानिंग. सो आई एग्री ऑन दैट पार्ट, बट हम टैक्स को इन्वेस्टमेंट से अलग नहीं कर सकते. नॉट इन टर्म्स ऑफ कि मुझे टैक्स के लिए इन्वेस्ट करना है, but somewhere around down the line we need to see like post tax return kya hai. Like IRR, for example, if we invest in fixed deposit, banks are offering 6.5%, but do I really get 6.5% in my hand? That is a question, and that will remain same in years on years and years. We will not change that philosophy of the investor ki post tax return kya hai. And I think in financial planning or in goal based planning, that is the right thing where we'll see the post tax return. सो एमएलडी पे जो इम्पैक्ट है, आई थिंक क्लियर कट इंटेंशन जो मैंने लास्ट क्वेश्चन में भी आंसर किया, all the tax concessions, all the tax exemptions, government सिर्फ उन पे कैंची चला रही है और कुछ नहीं कर रही है, because they are giving benefit to the common man. On the same side, they are finding the new ways where they can, collect the taxes. So आप लोगों ने taxes की बात की है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ गवर्नमेंट ने पिछले साल 1% सेस इंक्रीज किया था, एंड इफ यू सी द इम्पैक्ट की उस सेस से गवर्नमेंट ने कितना रेवेन्यू अर्न किया है, you will find my answer. What I'm trying to say is, so small changes have a bigger impact. So like 32,500 का 7 लाख रुपए तक की इनकम पे जो रिबेट है, वो कहीं ना कहीं से तो गवर्नमेंट को वापस रिकवर करना है. सो गवर्नमेंट ने इस बार आइडेंटिफाई किया इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर. इससे पहले 3 साल पहले गवर्नमेंट ने आइडेंटिफाई किया था कैपिटल मार्केट, जहां पे 10% टैक्सेशन लगाया था. लास्ट बजट में जैसे मैंने बताया, उन्होंने वीपीएफ टारगेट किया, यूलिप टारगेट किया, राइट. सो इन दिस बजट दे हैव टारगेटेड जो भी बचे हैं, और मुझे लगता है कि इसके आने वाले बजट में भी अगर ये गवर्नमेंट कंटिन्यू होती है तो ऐसे 2-3 चीजें और बची है जो शायद निकल जाएगी. सो इंटेंट समझ में आ रहा है. गवर्नमेंट इंटेंट इज दैट दे नीड टू कलेक्ट द टैक्स जहां पे पहले नहीं लग रहा था, एंड इफ देयर बुक्स इज अलाउइंग कि वो बेनिफिट कॉमन मैन को पास कर सकते हैं थ्रू एग्जम्पशन लिमिट, थ्रू रिबेट, so they will pass. So that will continue. So now let us understand on the MLDs. So MLDs के underlying usually is debt, right? And we have seen the impact जब 10% taxation लगा था long term capital gain पे, which was exempt earlier. तो एक impact आया था capital market पे. So this year, in my opinion, government ने debt insurance saving plans को भी मैं debt category में रखता हूँ, because उनके underlying is also somewhere around GSEC or some sort of the fund. So that is not related to market link. But in this MLD where underlying is debt, right? So debt market पे taxation पे impact है along with insurance saving plans and this MLD. So what is the impact on this MLD? Then we need to understand कि क्या changes किया है, पहले क्या होता था. So despite underlying is debt, government earlier used to charge tax on MLDs as per the long-term capital gain of equity market. So when I'm saying equity market long term, it means if you are holding any MLDs more than 12 months, it will be considered as a long term. And once it is long term and you are getting maturity in your books, it will be taxed at the rate of 10% only. So that is the lowest amongst any debt instrument, because usually जितने भी debt mutual fund है या debt है, वो slab rate से charge होते हैं, या फिर आप उसको 36 month तक hold करते हो तो 20% with indexation benefit से charge होते हैं. But MLDs was the only instrument which were used to charge at the rate of 10% as per the equity market, despite the underlying is debt. So उन्होंने again ये sweet spot identify किया, they have reduced this benefit, and उन्होंने clear cut statement use लिया and एक नया section insert किया. मतलब you can check the intent of the government कि उन्होंने सिर्फ amend नहीं किया, they have introduced new section to announce the tax, how to compute the tax for particular this MLDs. So they have defined very clearly कि act में कहीं भी कुछ भी लिखा हुआ हो, MLDs if you are holding for any period, be it 12 months, be it 24 months, be it 36 months, be it 48, be it 60 months, let's say 5 years, you are being charged as a short term capital gain. So intent is very clear कि आप MLDs को कितना भी लंबा होल्ड करो, वो डेट म्यूचुअल फंड जैसा भी टैक्सेशन नहीं है उसका. डेट म्यूचुअल फंड में अगर आप 36 मंथ से ज्यादा होल्ड करते हो तो यू आर अलाउड टू टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन अलॉन्ग विद इंडेक्सेशन ऑफ 20%. सो एमएलडीज पे सीधा सीधा उनका कहना है इट विल बी शॉर्ट टर्म. In other words, this MLDs will not going to impact on the common man. It is the favorite the investment avenues for the HNIs specifically, just because of this 10% ka tax ka advantage. But in this budget, they have very clearly said that it will be treated as a short-term capital gain, and tax will be as per the short-term capital gain provision. So the short-term capital gain provision is very simple. If you are falling higher bracket, you will be charged as per the higher rate, right? कुछ ऐसे MLDs है जिन पे STD पे होता है, उस केस में short-term capital gain पे you are allowed to charge at the rate of 15%. But mostly इस केस के अंदर slab rate से ही charge होता है, और वो slab rate अल्ट्रा HNI और HNI के केस में more than 30% रहता है. So I'll give you one example, and यहाँ पे जिन के पास में MLDs है, they need to do a quick exercise in their books. If they are holding any MLDs जिसकी holding period is more than 12 months, they should they should sell their MLDs to their relatives or their spouse just to book this long term capital gain. Because अगर आपकी मैच्योरिटी अगले फाइनेंशियल ईयर में आ रही है बट आप उसका होल्डिंग पीरियड 12 महीने से ज्यादा इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर में ही कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं, तो इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर में आपका टैक्सेशन सेम है, ये बजट के प्रोविजन अप्लाई हो रहे हैं अगले फाइनेंशियल ईयर में. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर मेरे पास में एक ऐसी एमएलडी है जो 1 अप्रैल 2023 को मैच्योर हो रही है बट 31 मार्च 2023 को मैं उसके 12 महीने कंप्लीट कर चुका हूँ, तो इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर में ही वो लॉन्ग टर्म कैटेगरी में फॉल हो रही है, तो आई शुड सेल दैट एमएलडीज टू माय रिलेटिव्स और माय स्पाउस और समवन एल्स to book long-term capital gain in my books and I can take benefit of 10% taxation. मैं उसको अगले फाइनेंशियल ईयर में अगर मैच्योर कराऊंगा तो एक दिन की वजह से मुझे सीधा सीधा स्लैब का बेनिफिट, स्लैब का टैक्सेशन लग जाएगा, दैट विल बी 30%. तो उसको एक सिंपल एग्जांपल से समझे, अगर मेरे पास 10 लाख रुपए की कोई एमएलडी है जिस पे 10% का यील्ड है, तो कहीं ना कहीं 1 लाख रुपए का मेरे को कैपिटल गेन होगा, राइट? वो कैपिटल गेन अगर मैं 31 मार्च को ही बुक करता हूँ तो मुझे सिर्फ 10% टैक्स आएगा, दैट विल बी 10,000. बट अगर वो मैं मैच्योर करवाता हूँ 1 अप्रैल को तो उस पर मुझे टैक्सेशन हो जाएगा 30,000. सो कहीं ना कहीं मैं 20,000 रुपए का ज्यादा टैक्स पे करूंगा. सो द गुड एडवाइस इज इट बिकॉज एमएलडी इज ट्रेडेबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट. मुझे वेट नहीं करना है मैच्योरिटी के लिए कि मेरे बुक्स में मुझे मैच्योरिटी लेनी है. आई कैन सेल इट टू एनी माई रिलेटिव्स, एनी माई नोन पर्सन एंड आई कैन बुक द एंटायर गेन इन माई बुक्स एज अ लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन. और फिर जो मैच्योर होकर जो आएगा वो वेरी मिनिस्कुल प्रॉफिट होगा उसके बुक्स में और उस पर इतना ज्यादा कोई टैक्स नहीं लगेगा. So I think that action, any person who is holding MLDs, they should do it. This exercise, they should do it to save the tax.
Right, right. Thank you so much for sharing insights around MLDs. I guess everyone would have a better clarity now on that front. And thank you so much, all three of you, for giving your insights on this. And I think now we are open for questions. And whatever questions people are asking, we'll now start by answering those. And before that, I would like to inform everyone that whatever we have discussed in today's session, and also whatever were the major key highlights in the budget for everyone, we'll be sharing one document with everyone to go through to understand. And in case if you have any questions or queries, you can reach out to our team. Also, you can download our app, Fintu app, on Play Store. Android and even iPhone users, you can download this app, Fintu app, and book a consultation with us if you need any expert guidance. You would want to discuss with any of our finance or tax experts, you can do that. There's a 15-minute free consultation that we provide to everyone. So feel free to make use of that. And if you have any personalized question which you are not very comfortable asking in an open forum like this, you can definitely reach out to us for that. But for other questions that we have already received in the Q&A, we'll definitely take up that one by one. And we can start with these questions. Many questions are there on taxation front. Now, one of the question is, what's new for the NRI, or is there anything new for NRI here? Nikhil sir, anything new for NRIs?
Yes, many things they have introduced for the NRI, but it is a long list. But simple impact, if you would like to ask from me, I think you should now be very careful when you are giving gift to any of your NRI relatives. Because earlier it was, there is a gift provision under Income Tax Act. If you do a gift, so the gift receiver hai, and the gift amount is more than 50,000, and if you are non-relative, then you the receiver has to pay tax under Section 56. That is other sources income. So earlier this benefit, this provision was not applicable to the NRIs, but in this budget they have covered to the NRI also. So for example, if I am giving any gift to my friend and I'm sending money to outside, as a gift, so my friend will be in trouble to pay tax.
Okay. So I think Abhinav had asked this question. I guess if you have any further question, let us know. And even one question from Mr. Vitesh, also I think on similar lines that you have answered. He said that I have a question. I want to gift my son 5 lakhs plus, and he's NRI. I'm a resident. Can I do that?
Son will not get impacted because relative definition is there, and in relative there is no taxation, be it resident or be it NRI. So what I mentioned is like earlier in resident, हम अगर इंडिया में ही रहते हैं और इंडिया में एक दूसरे को गिफ्ट दे रहे और रिलेटिव नहीं है तो ये गिफ्ट के प्रोविजन थे. They have extended this provision to the NRIs also.
Okay. Another question from Akanksha. She is saying, what are the benefits for handicrafts, millets, lab-made diamond industry? Any subsidies? Anyone would like to take up this question?
So Nidhi, I will take this. This budget has focused a lot on millets. India is actually the largest producer and second largest exporter of millets. And India is also at the forefront of popularizing millets, whose consumption improves the food security and well-being of the farmers. We have several types of Shri Anna, which the FMS said, like Jowar, Ragi, Bajra, and so on. So these have a number of health benefits and are integral part of our food centuries. So the focus is mostly on these kind of grains this time, and the direct beneficiary, if you see in the list space, will be ITC and companies in the food space, and some of them have already introduced millet-based food products. So, and many more companies in the space, in the food space, will be launching products in this range. And secondly, I think a question was on lab-based diamonds.
Right.
The custom duty on seeds used in the lab grown diamond manufacturing will be reduced. So the FM has announced that, and she has also announced a grant to IITs to facilitate the growth of lab made diamonds in India. So these are the two focus.
Okay. Thank you for answering that.
Nidhi, I would like to add one more thing,
Yes.
not the answer of Nidhi, but related to NRI, because I think we have very limited things to question and answer things. So I would like to highlight one important aspect for the NRIs, not specifically for NRIs. It also impact on the resident also. So that is on the LRS thing. Like RBI has one scheme, that is liberalized remittance scheme. So being as a resident, I am allowed to send a certain money to outside India. That can be for the foreign trip, that can be for medical treatment, that can be for education thing. So in this budget, they have a big impact on that kind of a transaction if I am sending any money from India to outside India. So earlier, what happened? There was 5% of TCS on remittance of more than 7,50,000 of amount. So in this budget, they have increased that TCS from 5% to 20%. So for example, if I'm sending my money, to invest in US market, for example, so and that amount is, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. So my money is going to invest only 8 lakh rupees. 2 lakh bank will deposit as a tax collection at source in my books. So technically, I am sending 10 lakh rupees to invest in US market, but only 8 lakhs is going to be invest, and 2 lakh rupees will be bank will be deposit that amount to my as a TCS in my tax credit account. So that is a big blockage of the capital. Right, one thing. Second thing, that 7,50,000 limit is not there on the foreign travel. For example, if I'm planning to travel post 1st July, I guess this provision applied after July. So if I'm planning to travel post July, like first of July 2023, then without any limit, even though if I'm converting 2 lakh rupees to any currency, then I have to deposit 20% as a TCS. Earlier it was only 5%. So it is a big jump from the government side, just to reduce or just to control that their foreign reserve, where they don't want to send money outside India. I think it will impact on NRIs also. That's why I have highlighted that provision. Whose family is residing outside India and they are going to send some money, or they are going to travel outside India. So they will impact in another way as a blocking of their capital in TCS.
Okay. So that's insightful for everyone to know related to NRIs. And I think there were a couple of more questions on NRIs, but I guess, you have covered most of the points here. So I'll not take those questions again. But now a few people are asking on home loan and new tax regime as well. So Parth is asking this, and also Maharani, she's saying, what's the benefit to own a house? Is it beneficial under old or new tax regime?
So owning a house through loan, earlier it was beneficial under old tax regime, because whatever loan ka interest you are paying and principal you are paying as a EMI. EMI के दो component होते हैं, interest एक principal. So through that EMI, you are used to get deduction under Section 80C and Section 24B of interest. So that benefit is still continue with the old tax regime. New tax regime में ऐसे कोई benefit नहीं मिलेंगे. So if you are having a house, and you have taken a loan and you are paying EMI, then it is beneficial if your interest component is more than 2 lakh. It is up to 2 lakh and your principal component is up to 1.5 lakhs. Then I advise to continue with old tax regime instead of new tax regime.
New tax regime, right. Another question, Mr. Deepak Kapoor is asking, how income group of 1.3 CR per annum is impacted with new budget regime?
So 1.3 CR, I will say that range is something like that. There is technically no impact, but there is an impact on the decision side. For example, if they are having deductions under their book, as we explained, like if you are having a house loan, you are paying interest up to 2 lakh rupees, and you have a principal amount up to 1,50,000. So 3,50,000 ka deduction you are claiming. Top of that, if you invest under NPS up to 50,000, you are getting 50,000 additional benefit. That is 4 lakh ka deduction. So if you are having such kind of deduction in your books, which you have planned earlier, it will continue, in your book for the next fiscal year also. Then I will say there is no impact to change from old to new tax regime. But if every year you are planning for ATC or every year you are planning for other section just to save tax, as Manish sir said, then I think this is the right time you can move to the new tax regime and you can plan your investment as per your need, not as per your taxation. So for example, if I have to plan my ATC and I'm going to see like what option available under Section 80C, so I will find like ELSS fund, I will find insurance scheme, I will find 5-year locked in fixed deposit. So there is no sense to choose that option now. You are free to choose your investment option as per your needs, as per your goal, and tax will be taken care by the new tax regime without any deductions.
Okay. Now another question is related to investments. So Nisha, if you can take this. So he's saying, I'm investing in US stocks. Will there be any tax that will be applicable?
So I think Nikhil is the best person on the taxation front. So I think he should take it.
Yes, so it will be impacted in two ways, as I mentioned. Like when you are sending money to outside India to invest in US stock, and it is more than 7.5 lakhs. Let us take an example. You are sending money 10 lakhs to invest in US stock. So yes, you will have an impact. 2 lakh rupees will be deposited under TCS. You will get the rebate of that TCS while filing your return, but 2 lakh आपका अभी block हो गया. You are going to invest only 8 lakh rupees. So that is the first impact of the working capital. Capital आपका blockage होगा. Second impact is that कि उसके taxation is very simple. If you are holding that script for 24 months in India, you will be taxed at the rate of 20% as a long-term capital gain. और अगर आप 2 साल से कम में उसको सेल कर देते हैं तो it will be short-term capital gain and you have to pay as per the slab taxation. So second जो impact है वो पिछले बजट में भी था, it was the same. First जो impact है 2 lakh rupees of TCS, like 20% of your spending amount. That is the new in this budget. Earlier it was only 5%.
Okay. Now there are a couple of more questions, and I can see there's some time constraint. But if you can quickly take up these questions, all questions are related to tax only. So another question is, so Mr. Sunand is asking this. My father is pensioner, 11 lakh pension and 3 lakh FD interest. What will benefit in new tax or old tax? And if new, should we stop ELSS?
Yes, very right thing. I think यही गवर्नमेंट का इंटेंट था कि आप ELSS इसके लिए ना करें कि आपको टैक्स बचाना है, because ELSS में 3 साल का लॉक इन होता है and you can't switch that money if fund is not performing. So the right advice is that yes, you can switch to the new tax regime. पेंशनर है तो आपको 50,000 का स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन भी मिलेगा, तो 11 लाख में 50,000 का रिबेट आपको मिल रहा है, 10.5 लाख आपको टैक्स स्लैब के हिसाब से चार्ज करना है टैक्सेशन. 3 लाख रुपीस का जो आपको इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है, if your parent is senior citizen, then the good news is that 50,000 ka interest is tax free. Only 2,50,000 you have to pay tax. So the right advice is that you stop ELSS, be there in the new tax regime, feel free to invest anywhere as per your need, as per your cash flow. That is the right advice.
Yes. One question from Parth. He's saying how ATC is more than 5 lakhs. Is it accumulating for many years? I think this was when you were discussing about not claiming it under ATC for insurance 5 lakh limits. Some confusion was there.
So insurance पे
So if
simple
you can
अगर आप
clarify once again for
yes,
Mr. Parth.
I'll just clarify it.
Yeah.
If you are paying insurance more than 5 lakh rupees, right? Your ATC benefit is restricted to 1,50,000. आपको ATC में सिर्फ 1.5 लाख रुपए का ही बेनिफिट मिलता है, चाहे आप प्रीमियम 10 लाख पे करें, 5 लाख पे करें या 1.5 लाख पे करें. So my advice to you is that if you are paying in next financial year, if you are paying any premium which is more than 5 lakh rupees, right? जो आपने नया प्लान लिया है, न्यू प्लान, क्योंकि ओल्ड प्लान पे कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं है इंश्योरेंस का. If you are taking any new plan in next financial year which has a premium more than 5 lakh rupees, then you should not claim that 5 lakhs under section 80C. Because वो लेने से आपकी जो भी इंश्योरेंस की प्रोसीड्स हैं, जो भी मैच्योरिटी है, वो पूरी की पूरी टैक्सेबल हो जाएगी. प्रिंसिपल का भी आपको रिबेट नहीं मिलेगा वहां. सो दैट वाज माय पॉइंट. सो ATC इज रिमेन अंडर ओल्ड टैक्स रिजीम. 1.5 लाख रुपए का बेनिफिट है. अगर आपके पास में ELSS है, आपके पास में अगर आप सैलरीड है और अगर आप EPF में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो वो भी आपको फॉल होता है अंडर सेक्शन 80C. ATC को भी बहुत अच्छे ढंग से प्लान किया जा सकता है. इफ यू हैव अ किड and you are paying tuition fees, you can plan ATC from there. So I always advise in my every seminar ki ATC you have to plan first from your expenditure, then you should see some sort of investment if you need to plan your ATC. तो पहले आपको एक्सपेंडिचर से प्लान कर लेना है. अब एक्सपेंडिचर क्या हो सकते हैं? एक्सपेंडिचर हो सकता है आपका ट्यूशन फीस जो आपको एनीवे पे करना है. एक्सपेंडिचर आपके हो सकते हैं EMI, जो आपने घर लोन पे ले रखा है, उस EMI में एक प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट है, that you can claim under section 80C, right? आपका और एक्सपेंडिचर क्या हो सकता है? If you have bought any house property and you have paid any stamp duty, that stamp duty anyways you are paying, that is your expenditure, you can claim under section 80C. So first plan your ATC from your expenditure. If there is any balance from 1,50,000 to complete it, then you should look some option related to ELSS or insurance or 5-year locked in FD or any other thing like VPF or something like that.
Okay. Next question is by Namit. He's saying my son is an NRI and he wants to send me money. What is the non-taxable amount he can transfer me per year?
So sir, in a son and father relation, that is blood relation, any amount you can ask from your son and it is completely tax free. And जो provision India से बाहर पैसा भेजने पे आया है, वो बाहर से इंडिया भेजने पर नहीं आया है. So there is no taxation. You can ask any money from your son from outside India to India. There is no tax impact on it.
Okay. Next question, Mr. Jay Kumar is asking on impact of section 79 for startups.
79 for startups?
Startups.
Okay. So what they would like to understand, like the benefit of the startup which they are offering?
Yeah, the question is not in detail. It's just mentioned about section 79 for startup. If you have any specific question, I would say that you can.
से related sections है. इसमें government ने जो loan है carry forward है वो 7 years से 10 years तक के लिए extend किया है. So it will be a bit technical if I'll go deep into it.
Okay, so I would suggest that if you have something personal or that kind of a question, you can get in touch with our tax experts one-on-one or email it to us. Yes, you can reach out to our team. Yes, definitely. Another question, should we take out amount from PPF as it is 7.1% only and becomes insufficient tool to fight inflation?
I'll say PPF से पैसा मत निकालो. PPF is the amongst the few EEE status kind of instrument जहाँ पे आप जब invest करते हो तो भी आपको exemption मिलता है. Accumulation is also exempt and maturity is also exempt. So this is amongst the few available option under EEE status. तो जैसे आपका EPF है वैसे आपका PPF है. यही कुछ ऐसे इंस्ट्रूमेंट बचे हैं जो EEE स्टेटस कैरी करते हैं. You should not remove money from the PPF.
Mr. Kumar, one more thing into that. It is the instrument which will be treated by government as a personal asset. So it is non-attachable for you. But depends on your age and something. So I think अगर आपको लग रहा है PPF में 7.1 अगर tax free आ रहा है तो that's a good investment instrument to do it. That's why there is a limit into that. So our advice not to withdraw this amount. That's a good amount which you are getting.
And along with this PPF, I think Sukanya is also amongst the EEE status kind of instrument. So I think government is promoting, this thing, and I'll not, predict it कि इसके benefit कब निकलेंगे. But I think there is a restriction on both the instrument. Like PPF में आप सिर्फ 1.5 लाख डाल सकते हैं. तो I think ये benefit continue रहेंगे. सुकन्या में भी आपके पास में लिमिट है, आप उतना ही पैसा इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. तो आई थिंक गवर्नमेंट इनको ट्रिपल स्टेटस में कंटिन्यू करेगी. बट अभी के लिए बजट में इन पे कोई चेंजेस नहीं है, तो यू शुड कीप इन्वेस्टिंग इन दोज इंस्ट्रूमेंट.
Okay. Manish sir, one question is there any announcement on PMAY extension?
PMAY is प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना, so there is no extension into that. I think government ने थोड़ा budget और उस पे increase किया है. 79,500 crores इस बार लिया है. Earlier it was around some 48 or 49,000 in all together. So you will see more houses towards this affordable housing, which government is promoting, and to go to that at last level for all these rural and everything. So there is definitely an extension in PMAY scheme, and government is giving, government ने 79,500 rupees allocate किए उसके लिए.
Okay. The last question now is on angel tax. So Jay Kumar is asking if someone can explain angel tax.
Yeah. So angel tax was not the new terms. It was introduced in 2012. जब ये गवर्नमेंट नहीं थी तब से ही एंजल टैक्स है. एंजल टैक्स बेसिकली उस टैक्स को बोलते हैं जब ऐसे स्टार्टअप फंड लेते हैं, उसका वैल्यूएशन जो है वो डिफाइंड नहीं होता है. देन गवर्नमेंट गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर इज डूइंग सम सॉर्ट ऑफ वैल्यूएशन. उस वैल्यूएशन के ऊपर अगर आपने फंड रेज किया उस स्टार्टअप में, तो उस पैसे को कैपिटल गेन में चार्ज किया जाता है, उसको एंजल टैक्स बोला जाता है. दैट इज द एंजल टैक्स. सो इस बजट में एंजल टैक्स से रिलेटेड ये अनाउंसमेंट आया है कि द एनआरआईज एंड द फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर जो यूजुअली एंजल टैक्स में फॉल नहीं होते थे, दे विल आल्सो फॉल अंडर द एंजल टैक्स. So for example, if Nidhi is NRI and Nidhi is giving money to any startup, तो उस पे एंजल टैक्स प्रोविजन अप्लाई नहीं होता था. इस बजट में उन्होंने बोला है नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर इफ एनी मनी यू आर रेजिंग फ्रॉम एनआरआईज और फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर, तो ये एंजल टैक्स उन पे भी अप्लाई होगा जैसे नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट से आप फंड रेज करते हो तो होता है. एंड सेकंड थिंग व्हिच वी नीड टू वेरी मच सी इट. सो ये प्रोविजन सिर्फ उन स्टार्टअप पे अप्लाई होता है जो रिकॉग्नाइज्ड नहीं है. Any recognized startup under DIPP is exempt from angel tax, be it you are raising money from resident or be it you are raising money from non-resident. So I think government is promoting कि आप recognized startup में जाएं और पैसा रेज करें, वहां पे वैल्यूएशन का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, there is no angel tax. But non recognized जो startup है उस पे angel tax का प्रोविजन उन्होंने रेजिडेंट से बढ़ा के नॉन रेजिडेंट पे भी कर दी.
Okay. One question is related to gold. This thing, so Nisha, I would like you to take this question. Question is asked by Mr. Kumar. He's saying, is it gold price increasing in international market or US dollar increasing and rupee depreciation? Some macro outlook maybe. Nisha, you're on mute.
So we have been bullish on gold and the prices are expected to rally more 10 to 15% from here. Even we have advised some of our clients to invest in gold Bs because I'm seeing a target of around $1,950 in the international market for gold. So yes, gold can be looked as an investment avenue for a few more upside from here of around 10 to 15%.
Okay. So with this, I think we'll end this session, and I thank everyone here being in the session and also, attending it till the end and asking a question. I'm sure you have got all the answers from our experts here. And thank you so much for all the experts also for taking out time and coming here, interacting with the audience and sharing your insights. Thank you so much, Manisha, Nikhil sir, and Nisha for taking out time and coming here.
Thanks, Nidhi. Thank you so much.
Yes. And again, I would like to say that we'll be sharing a budget document with everyone. So if you have missed something, you will be able to see it in the document itself. What are the key highlights for you? So you can do that. And like I mentioned, if anybody would like to get in touch with our finance or tax experts, you can reach out to us and you can just scan the QR code, which is there on the screen. Book a 15-minute free consultation with our team of experts. And you can also download our Finto app from the Play Store. So you can just download it. The link has already been shared in the chat. So you can do that as well. So thank you so much once again, everyone. And I wish you all a happy weekend ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.